were looking after the automation part. What were some of the bold decisions that you had to take there and then?
In projects, I believe there are multiple stages when you need to take those decisions. You should at least start, you should take your first steps, and then in between you can actually do some kind of course corrections, or you can actually see that if the things are lining up in the way you want.
How do you take out some me time for yourself?
See, me time is a luxury with a baby, so you cannot talk about the me time when you have a baby.
What advice would you like to give to young women officers on how to practice assertiveness?
Build upon your competency to be consistent. I always believe, keep your head straight. You have a crown on your head. You should never let it fall, because you own your own space and you are the queen.
When you went into the retail business, it was a new environment for you altogether, and at the same time you also embraced motherhood.
Yeah.
In this journey, how did HPCL help you?
My boss was very supportive. He always understood, because they have also gone through this journey, right? Definitely, I am thankful for HPCL for giving me that support and being there for that particular thing.
When we start something new right from scratch, there's this fear of ambiguity. So how did you tackle it?
With confidence, your action follows. Confident about things, then only you'll be able to take actions, and then you'll get some clarity and you'll start building upon the things.
Welcome to another inspiring episode of HP Unplugged, where we are celebrating the exceptional women leaders of our organization. I'm Trisha, Officer PRCC, and it is a great privilege to introduce you to Miss Shikha Wadhwaney. She began her journey at Hindustan Petroleum Corporation Limited in pipeline operations and went on to lead mission-critical programs in engineering and projects, including pan-India safety and automation upgrades across 70+ operating plants under the MBLAL project. She later transitioned into customer-facing digital roles, managing B2B loyalty programs and contributing to scalable digital payments and partnership ecosystems. In her current role in the Digital Transformation Cell, she works closely with the senior leadership to shape an enterprise-wide digital transformation, a roadmap prioritizing value-led initiatives and enabling seamless cross-functional execution. Her career has evolved from delivering complex initiatives to shaping enterprise-wide transformation, with experience spanning operations, engineering, digital platforms, and strategy. She brings a holistic understanding of how large, regulated organizations execute and scale change. Please join me in welcoming the dynamic Ms. Shikha Wadhwaney. Hello, ma'am. A very warm welcome to this exclusive episode of HP Unplugged. We are truly honored to have you with us today. So, if we start right from the beginning, you joined the HPCL organizations in the pipeline sector. Then you transitioned to engineering and projects. Then you have also worked in the retail business, and now you are part of the digital transformation cell. So, when we look at it, you have had a diverse journey in this organization. So, could you please walk us through this journey and tell us about some of the key initiatives that you were proud to be a part of?
Hi Trisha, thanks for inviting me for this HP Unplugged event, and I'm truly honored to be part of it. Trisha, I was a fresh engineering graduate when I joined Pipelines, and at Pipelines we learned everything grounds up. So it's like you handle machines, you actually talk to systems, you learn about the supply chain framework. So it was a journey wherein I did pipeline walking, pigging exercise, learned about the machines and everything, and it was a journey wherein I matured my skills of engineering, I would say. So it was an important part of the entire journey in HPCL. Then I moved to engineering. Engineering and projects was completely a different arena, wherein you have to manage a lot of stakeholders. I was a part of a very big project, which is an MBLAL project, wherein I was given an opportunity to handle a bigger project, a bigger team, and 70+ SODA SBU sites. So it was an experience. It was a very deeply enriching experience for me, because that shaped up me, how that helped me realize my strengths and weaknesses, and how I should have a balanced outlook of things. Then with an interview, I moved to digital initiatives team. So prior to digital initiatives, I had a very small stint of say 1.5 years in retail. So suddenly from engineering and projects, I moved to retail loyalty, wherein I learned about sales, about loyalty, payments. It was completely a different arenas. So herein I was then working with the banks, 10 plus banks I was handling, and managing their relationships, learning about loyalty, payments. So it was like starting the journey back again. You had a certain, but that helped me to understand the retail and sales business of HPCL. Before that, I would say it was more of an engineering and projects background, and then on top of it, it was sales. So at that point of time, I had quite, I would say the exposure of the all-round journey, that how actually things work. And then I was part of digital initiatives team for around 3 years. In that journey, in between that journey, I had a baby as well. So my baby is now 2-year-old, and with that, it was a change. There, my portfolio overlapped. I handled loyalty part of it because I was working on the apps again. And it was a customer-centric approach. Before that, it was completely an internal project-centric approach. So it was completely a 180-degree experience, I would say. So the journey has been truly enriching, and now being part of the digital transformation team, it is an important project, and definitely we are trying our best to deliver the project in the spirit or in the language it is set to be delivered.
Yes, ma'am, that's a very interesting journey, because I believe that it has given you a strategic outlook of the business. So under the domain of engineering and projects, you worked on MBLAR project. So it was one of the critical projects that you worked at. So could you please tell us what was that entire project about, and what were the key challenges that you faced?
It was a safety delivery. So it was to bolster the safety of our plants and how we work with the natural set of things and the change in SOP, process, plus the equipment and everything. So we literally, actually, I'll tell you, we did the PhDs in all the equipment. So the rim seal system, HVLR, ROSOVs, all these were new to us. We literally did a small POC in each subject to learn about those equipments and how to implement them. Then I was interested with the role to handle majorly the automation part of it, safety automation part of it, which was a worth 200 crore project, wherein I handled multiple OEMs, automation vendors, and the site teams. So it was an important part of that particular overall implementation, because with the automation only we certify that the entire things are working fine or not. So it was actually integrating everything at a centralized automation place. So doing it was also about how you disperse that knowledge to the teams, because something is installed now, something is working now, but how to work with those equipments, that was a completely change. It was more of a change management as well, which we handled along with the complete delivery of the project. So it was about managing scale, alignment of the teams, and the implementation, I would say. So it was definitely a very good experience, and it actually shaped me. I could learn about my strengths, that I could do good in certain aspects of the project also. I would say that it was a good opportunity for me at that point of time.
Yes, ma'am. And during that project, as you said that you were looking after the automation part, what were some of the bold decisions that you had to take there and then?
See, Trisha, I believe in projects. It's not only about automation. It's in projects. I believe there are multiple stages when you need to take those decisions. And I follow one philosophy which actually I learned from my previous boss only, that you can't always be 100% right. So there is no perfect answer for every question. You need to know about the ecosystem, environment, and sometimes you need to take that leap of faith or that decision that this is the right time, and if I'll not take the decision now, it may lead to certain other delays, and maybe it will hamper the closure of the project or the implementation or anything. So I always think that you should start working on the things even when you are not, say, 100% ready. You should at least start. You should take your first steps, and then in between you can actually do some kind of course corrections, or you can actually see that if the things are lining up in the way you want. So I would say being perfect is not always works. You need to actually be confident and consistent in your delivery.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for that great piece of advice, because it is often said that perfection should not be your end goal. Sometimes you just have to make things exist first, and then you can make them good later.
True. Yeah.
So, ma'am, I wanted to ask you that when you went into the retail business, it was a new environment for you altogether, and at the same time, you also embraced motherhood.
Yeah.
So, how did you manage both of these pairs of your life?
Actually, the journey was a little different. So when I went to retail, at that time I got married, and it was COVID. So I got transferred to retail in October 2020. It was a transition because I had a longer stint in ENP, engineering and projects. So initially the change was a new department, a new business, because I was learning about the payments and loyalty entirely from scratch. And then I got married, and COVID happened, and everything was like that. Then after that, when I thought that now I can continue my journey in retail, I got moved to digital initiatives. And when I was in digital initiatives, I started my motherhood journey as well. Definitely, motherhood is completely a different experience, and we actually relaunched the product, our B2C loyalty product at that point of time. HP Pay was relaunched. So there were complete things were going from very, I would say the bottoms up. So we were again establishing the product because there was a changeover. I know it is slightly technical, but yes, there was a change going on. So my boss used to say me that, this is your baby, and now there is a different baby coming up, and you need to manage both of your babies together. So definitely, I would say motherhood as a journey is what you learn when you're there. No one can actually prepare you for that. So right now as well, my daughter is 2-year-old, and so there are a lot of things which continuously which goes on in your mind. It's about managing a lot of hands together. We always say that women should be given more hands to manage that particular aspect of it. So definitely, I would say motherhood taught me a lot of things. Definitely, patience is on the top of it, because it requires a lot of patience to handle a smaller baby. And I would say with the help of my husband, with his support only, I'm able to do this. I'm able to continue with this journey of managing the work as well as the baby at home and everything. But definitely, it actually teaches you a lot. Yeah.
That is true, ma'am. And how do you take out some me time for yourself?
See, me time is a luxury with a baby. So you cannot talk about the me time when you have a baby. See, now baby is part of your life. It's not like that you are doing something different for that baby. I always try and see that whatever I want to do, I try to do it with her. I like to travel with her. So this is how I think that me time and everything is incorporated. And definitely with the help of my husband, with his support only, everything is possible.
Yes, ma'am. And in this journey, how did HPCL help you?
I would say my boss was very supportive. He always understood, because they have also gone through this journey, right? People know that how parenthood is. And in these times, it's not the entire responsibility of a mother, I would say. We know that mother and father equally plays that role, and they have been to that journey. So HPCL definitely gives you a peace of mind and a comfort that, we are here. You please attend your baby or attend your family, which is important at this point of time. And then you come back and start from where you left, and we will give you support. So definitely I am thankful for HPCL for giving me that support and being there for that particular thing.
That's very great to hear, ma'am. While you were answering, you said about HP Pay, that you were building it again right from scratch. Could you tell us more about that project?
HP Pay is our loyalty program. So when I transitioned from engineering to retail and then digital initiatives, in retail I primarily handled payments and loyalty, and that was with coordination with banks, as well as the HP Pay product was my main portfolio. So completely an internal, I would say internal stakeholder centric approach or a process centric approach to completely different, a customer centric approach and a sales centric approach it was. So there I learned about the nuances of the business, wherein you need to look outwards. So even in the current digital transformation strategy that we are making, so we are asking those questions that, when we are talking about the process efficiency, workflow automation, or anything that we want to do now also in the digital transformation project, we are asking this question that for whom this project is or this particular delivery is, what benefit it is going to bring to me in terms of operational efficiency, customer delivery, or, internal, I would say the hands-on approach to my field teams. So HP Pay product is more about loyalty and payments, and it is completely a different arena, I would say, from my previous stint in ENP. And now with that experience, I am able to participate in the long-term digital transformation strategy of HPCL, which is basically the result-oriented approach. So as an organization, we should be agile enough, we should be future ready, and we should know how to use those or deploy those tools and techniques. It is not about, digital transformation is not about having those tools, or it's not about the tool based journey, or it is like that you deploy something here and you will start getting the results. You should always put your mind that for whom you are doing this, what is your end goal, and what you are going to achieve with it. So right now we are trying to empower the people to take their decisions, so that our field team should have more time to analyze, collaborate and deliver, rather than actually collecting the data or working on that particular part. So we are using now the technologies like Gen AI and everything to basically give the hands-on platform for customers to reach us, as well as for our teams to carry out a data-driven approach also. So it is more about delivering results and with a focus in mind.
That is true, ma'am, because at the end of the day, it is the customers that you have to deliver happiness to. So if we make a product right from their perspective, then we might be able to reach them in much better way. So this is a question on a lighter note. So do you enjoy working with machines as in engineering and projects, or do you enjoy working with tech and digital transformation cell?
No, so I feel my role has been same in both the journeys. There I had to learn about machines and process automation, because it was a operational automation journey, right? And in this thing we are actually delivering from that context only, that how I can increase the operational efficiency, or how I can increase the customer CSAT, customer satisfaction, or all those things. So see, it's a project only. I don't know, maybe it is ingrained in my DNA in such a way or so, but I always split my goals in terms of projects only. That is it as if I am delivering a project, that there has to be something on which we are working on the use case, and then how should we deliver in terms of collaboration with the vendor teams or the internal teams, and how do we see the results. So I would say it has only the expansion of the horizons which have happened, and now I am thinking more about the enterprise centric approach rather than any one BU centric approach. So that journey has evolved for me.
So ma'am, you have spearheaded many initiatives. When we start something new right from scratch, there's this fear of ambiguity. So how did you tackle it, and what advice would you give to young officers who are in the same situation to take that leap of faith?
See, fear will always be there when you will enter the unknown territory or so. It will always be there. So that's what I said previously. I try to start working on things before I have 100% clarity or so. So I start building upon things, and I always believe that with confidence your action follows. So it's not the other way around. When you're confident about things, then only you'll be able to take actions, and then you'll get some clarity and you'll start building upon the things, right? And then the other thing is about competence. You should actually keep building on your competence, because when you have competence, you have clarity, and with that clarity only you can actually assert your position, and you can handle the different scenarios. So these are the two important things which I believe which will help you to unlock that fear. It is more about deep diving it and getting a feel of it, rather than actually only looking from the top and thinking, no, it's actually scary whether I should go or not. So it's better to deep dive and test those waters, and then take a decision on a larger time frame aspect.
That's a great advice, ma'am. Okay. Because if you look at any situation from a surface level, then we will back off.
Yeah.
But when we take a deep dive and we also build on our skills simultaneously, then I think it will give us much more confidence to take that leap of faith.
Yes.
So lastly, ma'am, I would like to ask you a question that in the society, women are often labeled as being, too emotional to take decisions during high critical projects. But your journey has clearly challenged this perception. So what advice would you like to give to young women officers on how to practice assertiveness and to put their point across?
Trisha, I believe being emotional is an asset. I don't think that it'll give you anyway a challenge or a problem, because when you can understand the stakeholder dynamics, then you can actually apply your objectivity, and it helps you to deliver the results. So if you're not emotional, you are not too engrossed, you are not able to understand the situation a 360-degree look, then you may falter at times. So I believe it is important that you should have an emotional aspect of the things. on top of that, there should be a factual approach or an objective approach to take those decisions, right? So this is, I actually personally follow it, that, you know, I always try and see things from little far, as in I try and have a 360 degree look at things, and then I take a decision on top of it. See, in this particular aspect, I believe if you have a subject clarity, then or you have a deep knowledge about any subject, then your words actually carry that weight, right? So that's why I said competence, building competence is important in the long run. So for the ladies, again, my suggestion would be to build upon your competency, to be consistent, because when you are consistent in your approach, when you're consistently delivering it, then the result is obviously visible. You need not to actually tell it or record it or do anything else. You need to be consistently deliver. Don't wait for things or times to be perfect enough for you to take any decision or so try and do it consistently, try and build on your competence and see what you are getting in results. Credibility compounds over time. So when you know that you are consistent, you are consistently building on your competence, then definitely in the long run you will be able to be assertive, because you have clarity of the situation, right? You are on top of it, you are in control. So I always believe, keep your head straight. You have a crown on your head, you should never let it fall, because you own your own space and you are the queen.
So ma'am, what you have said is absolutely right. It is often said that hard work is the key to success. Yes, it is. But sometimes consistency and credibility will take you further in the long run. So your journey is truly inspiring, ma'am. Thank you so much for taking out time to do this interview with us today. And we are really, really privileged to have the honor of this discussion with you.
Thank you, Trisha. Honor is all mine. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing your incredible journey with us, ma'am. Your dedication to excellence, strategic vision serves as an inspiration to us all. To all viewers, thank you for tuning in to this special episode of HP Unplugged. We hope her story inspired you as much as it has inspired me. Please share your thoughts in the comments below and join us in celebrating the remarkable women leaders who are playing a pivotal role in driving HPCL forward. A true reflection of She is HPCL. Until next time.